Welcome to the deep dive. So, you were curious about memory, and that led us into something pretty weird, the Mandela Effect.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
It's not just, forgetting where you put things, it's when loads of people somehow share the exact same wrong memory.
Exactly. A collective false memory, basically. Think of it less like bad memory, more like a glitch in shared recall,
So, today we're going to dive into what it is, look at some really common examples, especially from pop culture,
which are often the most surprising ones.
right, and then try to figure out why it happens based on, cognitive science. Keep it clear, not too overwhelming.
Sounds good. So the name itself, Mandela Effect, it came from Fiona Broome back in 2009.
Okay.
She realized she and, well, lots of other people
Hmm.
vividly remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s.
Wow, with details.
Oh, yeah, people remembered news reports, even his widow giving a speech, that sort of thing.
That didn't happen.
Not at all. He was released in 1990, became president, and only passed away in 2013. So this big shared incorrect memory gave the whole phenomenon its name.
Okay, so the key things here are it's specific, right? Particular details.
Very specific. And consistent across lots of unrelated people, they all remember the same wrong thing.
And they feel sure about it, really confident.
Extremely confident, often. That vividness and certainty are hallmarks. Let's take the Berenstain Bear.
Oh, yeah, I know this one. Berenstein, with an E. That's how I remember it.
So many people do.
Oh.
But if you look at the books, it's always been Berenstain, with an A.
Weird. Okay, what else? Star Wars.
The classic line, everyone quotes Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
But Vader actually says, no, I am your father.
Yeah.
The Luke part isn't there.
Get Out. Okay, another one. The Monopoly Man. Rich Uncle Pennybags.
What do you picture?
Top hat, suit, and
Yeah.
a monocle, right?
See? Most people picture the monocle, but he's never, ever had one.
No way. That's a visual one then, a VME.
Exactly, visual Mandela effect.
Hmm.
Same with the Fruit of the Loom logo. Lots of people swear there was a cornucopia, a horn of plenty behind the fruit.
I think I remember that too, actually.
It was never there, just the fruit.
Huh. Okay, so this isn't like parallel universes colliding, is it?
Well, some people suggest that,
Hmm.
but there's really no scientific evidence. Cognitive science has much more plausible explanations based on how our brains work.
Which is not like a perfect recording device.
Definitely not. Memory is reconstructive.
Yeah.
Every time you remember something, you're kind of rebuilding it, and errors can creep in during that rebuilding.
How? What kind of errors?
There are a few ways. Suggestibility is one. If you hear a misquote often enough, like the Vader line, it can actually change your memory of the original.
Okay, so hearing the wrong thing reinforces it. Makes sense.
Then there's interference. Similar memories can get tangled up. Maybe memories of other activists dying in prison, like Steve Biko, interfered with the Mandela memory for some.
Right, wires get crossed.
And confabulation. That's basically our brain filling in gaps with details that seem plausible, even if they're not accurate.
Like assuming Berenstein because it sounds more like a common name.
Perhaps.
Hmm.
Or source monitoring errors, forgetting where you actually learned something. You might see the wrong spelling online and later misremember it as the original source.
Our brains are trying to be helpful but sometimes mess up. What about biases?
Oh, big time. Schema theory is relevant. We have mental frameworks or schemas about things.
Like rich old-timey gentlemen wear monocles.
Exactly. So your brain fills in the monocle for the Monopoly Man based on that schema, that expectation.
Even if it's wrong.
Right? And priming, just being exposed to the wrong info, repeatedly makes it feel more familiar, more true.
And confirmation bias. If I think it's Berenstein, I look for others who agree.
Precisely. You seek out confirmation and ignore the evidence that contradicts your memory.
You mentioned visual Mandela effects, VME. Was there specific research on that?
Yeah, a study looked at icons like the Monopoly Man, C-3PO's leg color, Fruit of the Loom, and people consistently and confidently picked incorrect versions. It suggests these false visual memories often form right when we're trying to recall the image.
Wow. And I guess the internet just throws fuel on this fire, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Information and misinformation spreads like wildfire online. You find forums where people share the same false memory, which validates it for everyone involved.
Echo chambers for wrong memories.
Exactly. It reinforces the belief, amplifies confirmation bias. It functions a lot like how other types of misinformation spread, really.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've explored the Mandela effect, this strange thing of shared false memories.
Yeah, looked at examples like Berenstain, Vader, the Monopoly man without his monocle,
And dug into the why memory being reconstructive,
Hmm.
suggestibility, interference, schemas, biases.
and how the internet can kind of accelerate it all. It's not about parallel worlds, it's mostly about, well, psychology.
So the big takeaway for you listening, understanding this stuff makes you realize just how fallible memory can be, even your strongest ones.
Hmm. It encourages a bit of healthy skepticism, maybe, about what we think we remember and the importance of checking things, verifying info.
Definitely. It really makes you think, doesn't it, about shared knowledge, collective stories, how many other facts we all know might be slightly off. And how does our digital world keep shaping those memories? Makes you wonder about memory itself.